If you want to build or grow or start a coaching business, an online coaching business for that matter, then this video is for you. I've been in the coaching field for over 25 years and an entrepreneur for over 20. So, what I'm going to share with you is what I've learned in this journey. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build and grow a successful online coaching business because we are now predominantly online. And so, if you're watching me for the first time, my name's Lisa Mackey. And as I've said, I've been in the coaching profession for over 25 years. And if you want to learn more about the coaching field and how to grow your coaching business, then stay with me up to the end of this video. And if you're not subscribed yet to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified of every video I post. And in this channel, you'll also find a lot of valuable information, motivational and inspirational messages because of my faith. And so I'm very vocal about my belief. I'm a Christian woman entrepreneur, and this channel is also about my faith. But since I'm a coach, this will greatly benefit you if you also have a coaching business. So most of, if not all, clients I coach who are certified in their respective fields don't even really know this online marketing or how to grow their business. They know how to coach, but they do not really know how to build their coaching business. So if that's you, then this video is ideal for you, and stay with me up to the end of this video. Now, if you have coaching skills and you want to start a coaching business, this is for you too. In fact, it will be greatly beneficial for you if you're in that starting phase, because you'll be establishing and implementing your systems the right way instead of going through what I've been through. But hey, if not for that, I wouldn't even have anything to share with you today. Okay. And so, anyways, let me start by saying that to grow your business successfully, you do have to understand that the coaching field and the coaching industry is now or has shifted to a more predominantly online environment. And so if you're doing one-on-one coaching locally, which means that your clients are just within your vicinity and you're always just entertaining clients in person, then it's time to also rethink your business, because there's a lot of people online that are really waiting and looking for coaches. They're waiting to be coached and they're looking for you. They're looking for people like you. And so that is something that you should start considering. And if you're already online and you don't know how to figure it out, then what I'm going to teach you will really open your eyes and will help you understand why it's really important to understand first this online environment. And so to grow your online coaching business, it takes an understanding of the online environment and also implementing the right systems and strategies in place. And so let me begin by talking about the three main pillars of your coaching business. So some of these pillars apply even if you're offline or if you have an offline coaching business, but most of these pillars are specifically for an online coaching business, especially the last component that I'm going to share with you. So there are three main pillars to consider and establish and set up so that your coaching or online coaching business will succeed. And when I talk about success, it means consistently generating income. So it's really step by step. Within these phases are elements, and these elements have to be built and established one after the next. It's kind of like building a house. You start with the foundation and then you add up. And so what normally happens is it's kind of like buying furniture before you even have your house built, right? No matter how nice your furniture is, if your house is not sitting on a strong foundation, it's going to collapse. And so the three main pillars that you need to implement, establish and implement are brand identity. So that's number one. Number two is your audience. And number three is your marketing systems and strategies, which I will call marketing for now. So again, brand identity, audience, and marketing. So let's talk about the brand identity first. When we talk about brand identity, it goes beyond your logo or your website. In fact, that's the biggest mistake of many coaches, and I did the same thing in the past. So we always start with the furniture. We always get excited with our business cards. Like with me specifically, I was just like so excited. I have an online coaching business because I've been a coach for so long, but to transition online, that was totally different. So I still had my business cards that I give out for, when I'm networking, just to let them know, point them to my website. So I got excited about that and the physical aspect of my brand, like my website. But the thing is, there's no point in having a website unless your offer is really defined and unless you have established your marketing systems. Let me explain to you why. A website is like an online brochure. Okay, back in the days, you give out your brochures to people, or if you have an office, you leave your brochure there so people can get it and read it and make a decision whether to purchase whatever you're offering them. Now, people don't just purchase from you. And because the online space is also very busy, people are just not going to find your website. And you have all these paid apps that you do have to pay before you can even be visible. And so to have a successful conversion, which means leading people to your website, it means that you need to set up your marketing systems so that when you're promoting, your audience is converting or being led from whatever platform you're using to your website. So it's pointless at this point investing in a website and creating a website unless you have all these other systems in place. And so when I talk about brand identity, as I've said, it goes beyond your logo. It includes, so I'm going to cover the different parts and elements of your brand identity and just talk a little bit about each one because we don't really have the luxury of time for me to dig deeper or to dive deeper. And so you have your logo. Okay, so your logo is actually for your business name. So the logo is just a physical representation. Let's go beyond, or what do you call this, deeper than the logo and what the logo represents. Okay, so you have your business name, and for coaches, I really recommend that you use your real name. Like with me, I have Lisa Mackey Consulting. Okay, I could have said or used Lisa Mackey Coaching, but I prefer consulting because I also do consulting work. So the difference between consulting and coaching is coach is you really coach and guide your people or your audience or your client in what they're supposed to do. Consultants are experts in the field who are giving you answers to your questions. Let me put it that way. So coaching is more like mentoring and you're really walking with your client. And so I called mine Lisa Mackey Consulting. So using your name really establishes you as the expert in your field. And you want that in the online space. And so if you already have a business name, that's fine. Maybe you can do a DBA or doing business as. And of course, if you're a corporation, that is going to work differently because now you have other people and you can just use your name. But sometimes even people do that. But for coaching, I really recommend for a business name, your own name. And then part of your logo or your main logo or your main brand, let's just talk about the brand. Your main brand, other than your business name, also includes your title. So how do you want to be known as a coach? And you have to also make sure that they are SEO friendly or search engine optimization, which means that people are looking for it or it's easy to type because people Google what they're looking for. So when I started in the online space, I wanted to be known as more than a business coach. I wanted to be a transformational coach. And then I realized that people don't really know what transformational coach even means. So why are they going to type it? It was only like a few years back when people started really having more knowledge about life coaching. And I think the pandemic, kind of accelerated that, because now everybody needs a coach and everybody's becoming a coach. So everybody's like talking like a coach. And so people are like, oh, okay, so this is what life coaching is about. But transformational coach, that's something that nobody will really look for. And so you want people to be looking for whoever you are. So my suggestion, if you're starting, is to use a more generic business title, like a business coach. I mean, up to this day, I still use business coach or entrepreneur coach. And so you can use life coach, career coach, marriage coach. We want to be more specific, but make it more generic. Generic, but specific at the same time. You can't be just, oh, I can, like when I started, I was doing life, career, and business. And I think I called myself a success coach or something, but it was just not the right niche. And it's something that people are not really looking for and they're not aware of it. So I finally stuck to business coach. And so the business name, the title, and you can also include a tagline as part of your brand. So this is your main brand. So this is what's going to appear on your social media pages. This is what's going to appear on your business page and eventually on your website. So like with me, Lisa Mackey Consulting, and I used to have a tagline, but I don't really use it anymore. So it's more like a description, but that's not really a brand in itself. But then I'm like an entrepreneur coach, business coach, but you'll only see that in my social media platforms. And then you also have your secondary brand, which is your offer. Okay. And we're going to go to the offer now, because this is kind of like where most coaches get stuck. I used to think that all coaches know how to design a program, but I've proven myself wrong, because I've had coachees who I coach to create a program. And so sometimes you're really good in giving advice to people, but not necessarily creating a program. So the program in itself is very, very important in your offer. Okay, it's not just how good you are or how skilled you are as a coach, but the program in itself, because this is what you're going to sell. And so your signature program, the title of your signature program is another brand. So you have a brand for your main brand. You have a logo for your main brand, which is your business name and the business title, if you want to include that. And then you also have a logo for your signature program. And so at this point, if you're starting and you haven't really built credibility in the business, I wouldn't advise you to create so many different services. Start with one and then let it grow. And so a signature program is like your best offer. Okay. And so my advice for you is this, and most clients I've coached already have a signature program, but it's high ticket. And so it's very difficult for them to sell it. And some experts will tell you that you should not undervalue yourself. And this is why many clients I've coached have overpriced, because they were told that they should not undervalue themselves. And I totally agree. But when you're in the online space competing with all these experts who are probably offering lesser value or lesser price items than you, then it's really difficult to compete. So my suggestion is for you to create a price point that's not as expensive as your more credible competitors. And I don't care, this is how I felt as well when I transitioned to the online space. I'm like, I've been a coach for so long, so I can really, I can't undervalue myself. But then it's like in the online space, barely anyone knew me as a coach. And so I kind of had to not only rebrand, but kind of come in as somebody new and then just started proving myself and my expertise from there. And so don't make your price too high. So my suggestion, I have two suggestions, but I would stick to the first one. So this is the first one. The first one is for you to have a higher ticket offer, which is your signature program. So this can be like 3 months to 6 months. Okay. And then you start with one-on-one. Okay? You start with one-on-one and don't dive into a membership model or a group coaching model until you have established yourself as a one-on-one coach. So after you've established credibility, you've had 10, 20 clients, then that's the time that you transition to the group coaching model. In fact, you can bring all these individual clients of yours to this group coaching model eventually, and maybe offer it for free or very low priced program, so that you'll have instant members in your group. Because it's kind of like weird when you're offering a group coaching program and nobody's there, nobody's signing up, and then no, everybody's like trying to feel whether they can trust you or not, and that happened to me. I offered a group coaching program, nobody wanted it, but that's because I was jumping right away. It's like 5 steps forward. So start with one-on-one coaching, and then from there, eventually, once you've established your credibility, you create a group coaching program. So this is also one big frustration of many of the people I've coached and talked to, because they've built membership programs and there's nobody there. And they've spent so much just creating all those funnels for nothing. And I don't want that to happen to you. And so you start with a signature program, but this is what you do. So you have that for one-on-one, but you have a lower ticket offer. And for the lower ticket offer, my recommendation is a digital course. So you create a full-blown program as your signature program, and then you create a digital course as your lower ticket offer. Kind of like a small portion, maybe 4 weeks of the full-blown program. This way, this is the best thing about this. You now use this as a marketing tool to upsell them to your one-on-one coaching. So your digital course should be something that will tease them for the next level, something that will still fill them up and won't make them feel like, you've shortchanged them. So this is a lower price point. I always tell my clients this is kind of like between $49.99 to $99.99. And then you can just create another digital course eventually that's higher price point. But the point is, this will be your marketing tool in promoting your higher ticket offer, and this is where you're going to build your credibility. So knowing that it's a marketing tool as well, you don't have to worry about pricing it. Some people I know give it for like $29.99, but that's really just like a 1 week course. So you can also do that. But I suggest you create a 4 week course, like a portion of or maybe a summary of your entire signature program or a portion of it. And then that will make them understand your higher ticket offer better. And so that's my suggestion for you. And then eventually that digital course will be a passive source of income. And so you'll have income coming in while you're building your coaching business and that one-on-one coaching model that you're using. Now, the other advice I can give you, and this will work for you if you already have your one-on-one coaching program going on, you're kind of just like not really seeing the results that you expect. Now, if you already have a signature program, what you can also do is eventually, so you start with your signature program. Of course, if you already have a high price point, it's really hard to lower your price, because it's kind of not good for your image. And so if you have a high ticket one-on-one that's barely moving, my suggestion is for you to have a digital course. If you have kind of like a more lower price, affordable price for your one-on-one, and what you can do is to upsell them. So within your one-on-one, you're upselling them to a group coaching program. Okay, after they're done with you, or maybe while you're coaching them, you also have a place where everybody interacts, and that becomes your group coaching model, or maybe upgrade it later on to a mastermind. So this is how you create tiers within one program that will eventually grow into something bigger. And what I've noticed too is, especially as a Christian, my vision for my business came from God. As Christians, we understand the value of hearing from God when it comes to direction for a business. And most clients I coach are Christians, and they get this vision from God for their coaching business. And it's so huge. And so when they start with something so huge. But I always say that God declares the end from the beginning. That's Isaiah 46:10. And so when God gives a vision, he shows you the end result. And that's why it's so big. And then he brings you back to where you should start, and then the process begins. So if you have a huge vision, that's fine. You can create a diagram, a chart, drawing, you can write everything down, and that's fine. Best believe that God's going to bring you back there, but you got to start from phase 1. And if you start big, even your audience is going to be confused, and then you're going to feel overwhelmed. Seriously, when I started, I had a really huge vision and nothing happened. And then that's when I went back to point A. And then now I'm seeing that it's going back to where I started in the first place. And so that's just for your offer. So I was saying that you also will need a logo for your signature program. I have, because I've already grown, I now have 3 digital courses. So one is BCA, or Build and Convert Your Audience. I have a logo and I have a brand for that. I have CCR, or Course Creator Roadmap. I have a brand for that. And then I have YOU, or Your Own Uniqueness. I have a brand for that. But my main brand is Lisa Mackey Consulting, or LMC. That's my main brand. So that's what brand identity is. Now, there are so many other factors within brand identity, including how you project yourself in relation to how people see you. Okay, so there has to be an alignment. And then another thing that's considered in, not considered, included in brand identity is also your message. So your message is still part of your brand. And so what I teach my students, and I'm going to give you an overview. So when I do my coaching, I explain to them the different steps that they need to take to establish, what do you call this, a full package brand identity. Okay. So I begin by teaching them how to discover their purpose, and that lies in your uniqueness. That's actually what the YOU digital course is about. It really explains to you how you'll find your purpose in creating your brand identity. And so from that purpose, you now create your vision, mission statement, which becomes the main foundation of your brand, your main brand. Okay, whether it's your tagline or even your business name. Well, not really your business name, because that's your name as a coach, but the tagline and probably the title that you would use eventually, not in the beginning, because in the beginning I said that it has to be really SEO friendly. And so as you begin to build your credibility, then people already know you, and whatever you promote, that's what I always say. When you're an expert, when you're famous, it doesn't matter. You promote whatever and people would buy it because you already have followers. And so you start with that, and then you it's kind of like purpose, vision, mission, and then you have your brand. And then you also, from there, create your foundational message, which becomes the foundation for all your content, which will fall under marketing. Okay, so that's for brand identity. Now let's go to the next pillar, and that's audience. So audience is more than just the people who see you. These are your target audience. These are your prospective clients. Okay, I always tell my people as well that your audience, they are the people who God has called you to serve. So your audience, they're out there. And experts always say that you have to identify who they are. You got to figure out who your target niche is, your client avatar, and then figure out where they are and stay where they are. Well, I do believe, in fact, I have a video from, I think, 2 years ago about finding your ideal client. But what I've learned along the way is when you establish your systems in place the right way, they're going to come naturally. I don't even have to look for them. I don't have to figure out where they are. They're just getting attracted naturally because I'm speaking their language. This is why the messaging is so important, which is part of marketing strategy. And so audience is more than just who they are. It's also where they are. Okay. And I'm not talking about where in the social media space are they on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter? I'm not even talking about that. I used to think that was just what mattered. But when I say where they are, it's where they are in their journey with you. It's like the sales process. You have your what do you call this, your cold prospect, you have your warm, and then you finally have your client. So your audience goes through different phases in their journey with you, and I explained more about that in a video that I will share with you also. Like, I will link it up, and I think I have other videos here that I will also include in the video description that will help you understand this journey of your audience. So they go through different phases with you from the time they see you until they make a decision to purchase or to sign up for your coaching program. And so, what's important about your audience is you have to figure out where they are or where they'll be. And, like, for instance, if you're looking at the online space, where are these people when they're just starting to see you for the first time? And that would be social media. Social media is for people who are seeing you for the first time, and then the next level would be a Facebook group that they really wanted to sign up for. I'm not talking about just a public Facebook group that where anybody can join. I'm talking about a private Facebook group that this person really wanted to join the group because that group is beneficial for him or her. And so that is now the next level because now they're really interested. They're not just strangers or bystanders seeing you on social media. And email marketing is also one of that next level. And I definitely recommend email marketing because that's really where you can take care of them. So that's already the next level. And then now you bring them to a webinar or a discovery call where you do your sales pitch. So those are different levels of places and phases of your audience journey with you. And so that's for audience. Now let's go to the marketing aspect because they are connected. And now knowing the different phases of your audience journey will now make you realize that the platform that you're using should meet them where they are in their journey with you. Okay. And that's where I introduce my 3-point online marketing system that I've been talking about in this channel for the longest time. So I'm also going to link up include the links of the videos where I talk more about that. And so I have a 3-point, very simple attention, trust, sales, online marketing system. And so attention is where you meet your audience for the first time. And I use social media for that. And if you're starting, you need to focus on one platform. Otherwise, you'll be spread so thin. So let's just say Instagram. Instagram for your first phase. So which means that your strategies. So when we talk about strategies, these are the blogs, podcast, videos, reels. Those are all strategies. Content creation, they all fall under strategy. And so if you're just releasing all these strategies without having these systems in place, so the systems are the platforms, okay, where you put your content, which is the strategy. So when you're just concerned about strategy, and that's also what happens to coaches, oh, I want to do podcast. Oh, I think I'm going to do a YouTube video. We focus on that without the systems. It's really like having piles of clothes on your bed without drawers to put them in. So they're all just stuff there, and you're not experiencing audience conversion because you have to always think about converting your audience from one phase to the next, to the next. And what happens most of the time is most of my clients do not understand these online marketing systems. So their audience, they're just falling out because there's no place for them to go to. Like I see you, I'll give you a great example. I see you for the first time on Facebook and you're telling me to purchase or to sign up for your one-on-one coaching program that is, let's just say $5,000 price point. So maybe that's not really expensive, for some people, but for somebody like me seeing you for the first time, I'm gonna be like, who is she? So if you're selling on social media to an audience, remember, if you're already popular and famous, that's different. But when you're trying to grow a coaching business and you're trying to build an online presence, you don't use social media to sell, or you don't even in sharing your blog, for instance, or even my YouTube video. And I made that huge mistake before. I would be just like, hey, watch my video. It's like, who cares about your video if they don't know you, unless you have something there that really will catch their attention. But you want to engage your people. So your social media is really meant for you to just keep sharing your expertise at the same time, making sure that you're making them feel welcome. It's not really about you. It's not, look at me, look at me, look at my website, look at my blog, read my blog. It's really about you serving them. Give them something valuable. But again, even with content, you gotta know what content to put on each level, because you don't want to You don't want to give the best, information to them. Otherwise, why will I sign up for your email? Or why will I even sign up for your program? You're already telling me everything for free. So that's also going to be easier to identify when you have these systems in place. So you have the attention, and I use social media. You have trust. Okay. And my best recommendation is email marketing. So that's if you're signed up to my email, and if you're not signed up and you want more valuable information that integrates faith with business, specifically the coaching business, then I invite you also to join me in my LMC Insider community. And you'll also find the link later in the video description. And so that's for trust. And then in the trust system, that's where you start inviting them over to a webinar. And once they're in the webinar, that's where you present your coaching program. Or as I've said, it can be a discovery call. And so you meet with this warm prospect and you now sell and present your offer. Now, the nice thing about the digital course is you can start talking about your digital course in your first system, in your attention system. Like on Instagram, you'll see me talk about my digital courses without selling to them the course. I'm actually offering to them a free training that where I explain and sell my course. You know what I'm saying? So on social media, you're not really selling, you're offering something for free as a bait so that you can capture their email. And then from somebody not knowing you to somebody beginning to know you, and that's where you build your trust. And then finally, when they voluntarily join you in your webinar and they kind of are getting to know you, then it's easier for them to be convinced that, hey, I do want to sign up for this program. I'm telling you, all my clients, are the result of building trust with them first. I've had clients who I've been talking to for a year before they finally made a decision. Some clients, they've been silently observing me on social media. I didn't even know, like, how'd you find me? And then they're like, oh, I've been following your Instagram. I'm like, oh, I haven't even seen you at all. So this is what implementing those systems do. Your prospects or your audience, they are naturally converting. And because of, knowing what content to put, it also brings the algorithm. It works in favor. The algorithm works in your favor. When you're more defined in what you're saying, the algorithm now knows where to position you. And so that's for marketing. Okay. And so we've talked about these three pillars, and it's really important for you to be able to implement and set up and establish these pillars and even the elements that go under each pillar before you can start seeing growth and consistent growth for your coaching business. Now, this YouTube channel, and because, I don't want to take too much of your time, like explaining everything to you, and this is why it's kind of limited. And so if you are seriously wanting to know more about these pillars and you want to be coached by me, whether you're starting a coaching business or you want to grow your coaching business and you're like trying to figure out how to do it in the online space, I would love to walk with you in this journey. And so just leave a comment below and I'll give you more information, or probably we can also connect on Instagram. I'll link it up as well, or you can just go to Instagram and look for Coach Lisa Mackey, and that's where we can also connect, or just leave a comment here, and then I'm going to send you a link to my calendar, and so we can probably set up a virtual chat or maybe talk on the phone if you're in the US. That will be easy, and I do have options for you. Well, first, I have lots of free resources you can start with, and I'll link up all those resources in the video description. And then I also offer a pay per session coaching, and my clients just love that because some of them are not ready to stay with me for a longer engagement, or they're not ready to commit for a 6-month coaching program. And sometimes their needs really vary. Some are already ahead in the game, they just kind of need a little tweaking in some of their systems. And so it's really ideal for them to have this pay, I call it the pay per session arrangement. And so we can do that too. I'm very open to that. In fact, it's something I love to do too, because it just makes it easier for everyone. Okay, so Again, I can give you all the information. Just drop a comment and or connect with me on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. Just look for Coach Lisa Mackey. We can also connect there and just add me as friend and send me a friend request and a message and just tell me and say, hey, I saw you on YouTube and I'm very interested in your paper session offer, and I'd love to set up a free call with you. All right. Or if you're still kind of deciding and you just want to talk to me more about this, something I can consider too. All right. So I really hope that you learned a lot from this video. And I know for some of you, it may be like, oh my gosh, this is the first time I've heard of it. Some of you probably like, yeah, I've heard of it before, but now it's making more sense. Then let me also know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you've learned from this and what resonated with you the most. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're not subscribed yet to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified of every video I post. Okay, see you at the next one.